a lot of guys, they let the girl run the relationship because it's just easier, right? If they just like leave it up to the girl, and oftentimes girls are very proactive in doing, setting things up. But it's really not a good idea, because what women want is not going to make you happy, in the same way that what you want isn't going to make her happy. So if relationships were run 100% the way guys wanted them to be, then they would look like porn movies. And if relationships were run 100% the way women wanted, it would look like The Notebook or one of these other romance movies. So in both of these, one person is going to be miserable. So there needs to be a compromise. Now, that's the reason. So now what happens though is that things tend to go more in the direction of what women want. And the reason why they tend to go more in the direction of what women want is because society supports what women want more. So no one thinks a good relationship looks like a porn movie. So rather, when I say no one, I mean society doesn't think that. I know plenty of guys who think that. But society doesn't think that. So when you try to get the girl to do things that you want her to do, a lot of times there's going to be a lot of pushback. I was with my sister one time, and with the girl I was dating. And the girl I was dating was wearing heels. And my sister said, "Oh, you don't need to get all dressed up for me." I looked at my sister. I was thinking, what is this crazy woman doing? What is she talking about? I was like, she needs to get dressed up, and it's not for you. What are you talking about? But the fact is that society doesn't support that. There's this whole idea that, women should be able to do whatever they want and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, they can do whatever they want, but if they're going to be with you, then they're going to have to do things that make you happy. In the same way that if you are going to be with her, you have to do things that make her happy. It goes both ways. Okay, so what most guys do is they leave it up to the woman, and then it ends up with a lot of the things that she wants and that are important to her happening, but not so many of the things that you want and are important to you happening. And what's also interesting about this is that a lot of the things that are important to a woman are public things. They're seen out in the world. And so when you take her to nice places and you take her to do things, and these are things that you can talk about. On the other hand, a lot of the stuff that guys really like to get from a woman are not public. And I'm not just talking about sex, although that's definitely one of the key things. It's also things like, things around how you spend your private time together. A lot of times for guys, they go out, they work, and work is stressful. It's like girl time is relaxed time. Or guys want girl time to be relaxed time is a more accurate way to say it. Okay, it's like when you're with your girl, most of the guys, they want that to be their time to like chill out, relax, recover from everything that's going on in their life. It's like, when everyone talks about a safe space, I think that's what guys want when they're with their woman. They want that to be a safe space. And that's a very private thing. And so because it's private, it's not emphasized. So if you let her run the relationship, then that tends to be deprioritized. Interestingly, there's something called bed death in lesbian relationships. Bed death is that there's no sex happening. And there's no sex happening because there's no one initiating. Now, they may move in together soon after the first date and move things really along very fast, and they can feel like they're really emotionally close. But because that's what women want. And I was reading about this in a book called Self-Made Man. It was about a woman who was a lesbian, or is a lesbian. I assume she's still alive. And she decided to pass herself off as a man full-time in several different situations. And because she wanted to see what it was like to be a man, because she heard, being a man is so great. It's so great to be a man. And so she was talking about how what she thought it was going to be like as a man was very different than what it was actually like. And so she talked about this thing about bed death, and she was talking about how she was trying to do online dating. And, well, she also tried doing approaching women at bars and clubs. And she was talking about how shocking it was for her to do that and see, how much power women have in that dynamic relative to men. And she talked about how when she communicated with women online, women were so excited about the depth of the communication and the emotional closeness they felt with her, which for her was easy to do because she's a woman. And that's what women, mostly are, a big part of what they value in their relationships. And so that's why it's really important that you not be lazy and let the woman run the relationship, because it'll go in directions that you are not happy with. Not because your woman is bad or because she's trying to ruin the relationship. It's just because she's different than you are, and her ideas about what's good and yours are not the same. So that's a big mistake that guys make. And I think they mostly make it out of laziness. They just want, as I was saying, they want their relationship to be kind of a safe space where they can just unplug. And that's not, how relationships are if they're going to be really functional. My mom used to say, marriage is the hardest job you'll ever love. And so you see, there's this combination of it being very difficult and very challenging, but it also being so rewarding. So you may want to be lazy about it, but don't be lazy about it, because if you're lazy about it, you're not going to get enough out of it. You're not going to get enough out of it for it to be worth it. Questions, comments below, like and subscribe, and don't be a dick in the comments. No dicks in the comments. I hate dicks. Dicks are for the ladies, not for me. See ya.